Now, the Bram Weinstein Show on Washington's new home for sports, ESPN 630.
Hey, babies. Hey, babies. Hey, babies. Hey, babies. Hey, babies. Hi, everyone. 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 What's up? We do it here. Happy Monday. Just got off a preseason game. That game should have been played in the Monterey Peninsula. It was beautiful outside. It was like 75 degrees and sunny. Wish all football games were like that. Now your mic doesn't work? Oh, my God. I've had a lot of this past week.
Arm problems.
Arm problems. Not your arm.
No,
Mike
no.
arm.
Well, I've always have arm problems.
Yes. Mike arm problems.
It's fine.
All right.
I'll just hold it here.
Look at my wrist, people. It's getting better.
Oh, look at you.
Look at that. It's weird looking and bumpy, but that just means it's still swollen. It's just swollen.
Got it.
Somebody, I did appreciate somebody on Instagram making fun of me for not wearing sunglasses.
That was comment of the day, actually.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Well,
and
I heard about your sunglasses. Why are you wearing your new sunglasses? I didn't have time to buy new sunglasses.
You didn't?
No. We had visitors from out of town.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
I had my formal freak out about it at home at one point around
formal freak
about
out.
midnight one night where I just had my formal freak out about.
Got it.
Like, this is the first game. I love these people at our house. I'm losing my cookies. I can't sleep. I'm not preparing for this game. I'm freaking out.
Yeah.
And everything went fine.
Okay.
Because, I spend an inordinate amount of hours getting ready for a preseason game.
No, as you should.
Yeah.
Right.
It was all fine. But, it was just a little me like, I need my space.
It's not that I hate you.
No.
I just have work to do.
No, I loved all the people that were in the house.
Yeah.
It was just, it was probably more like, I feel bad. I'm going to go disappear now for a little while.
Well, you never want to be the guy that's not participating.
Not participating.
It's going to be, well, why does Bram hate us?
Yeah.
And it's like, no, I don't hate
right.
you.
So I have to make a choice. Participate and sit there the whole time going, memorize Carolina's roster, or not show up and be the guy that, we thought he liked us.
Right.
Either one's not good.
Of course.
Anyway, you want to talk about it? You didn't go, right? You didn't end up. You bailed on going.
No, I had tickets because I'm a season ticket holder, but I had duty calling at this station that day. So
what?
Orioles? We had some Orioles coverage issues.
Did you
that
now?
had to help us out with.
That's right, hon. That's right, hon.
More of that this week too.
Oh,
but
good.
Anyways.
We're going to the game still Thursday. That's happening.
I need to send you a copy for today's giveaway.
Oh, yeah.
But yes.
We're doing that.
We got one more pair to give away. Winners are being contacted literally right now, I think, or by this afternoon. So we'll have a good head count going into Thursday.
Let's see what kind of fan you are. Did you tape the preseason game and watch it?
No.
So have you seen it?
Yeah. No.
Okay.
I got to watch.
During.
Yeah, I got to watch about 2.5 quarters, and then I drove and heard the rest, and then turned it on here in studio. So, no. I did watch.
Okay. Good. Then we can have a conversation
Had you
about
fired up on the Commanders app?
Did you?
Yeah.
How'd that go? Good?
Sounded all right.
Very good. That's good to hear. I just call the plays.
Not to say wherever
Let me know what it
else
sounds
you are.
like. Yeah. Yeah,
So
good.
that I can listen to you digitally.
Got it. Great.
So,
why are we in this weird space? We're such a weird space. Next week's going to be the weirdest.
yeah, because we have the Ravens.
When on these airwaves, we'll be playing the Ravens broadcast
That's right.
of a game I'm calling.
But not you.
That's right.
Jerry Sandusky and
That's
Rod
right.
Woodson. Yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
Fine, whatever. I'm over it.
How about that? By the way, I know we want to talk about the Commanders, but Rod Woodson is color for them this year. He's going to be a coach in the XFL.
Is he right?
Yeah,
Is he really?
He's one of the coaches in the XFL.
Who's the head coach here? I didn't catch that. Greg Williams is the DC here, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he is.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
Want me to get an interview request for him?
Every week, please. Every week.
Our friend Zabe calls him Greg Williams because he has 2 G's at the end of his name.
Yeah, the second G's for genius.
That's right. Anyways.
Yeah.
Already off on a tangent.
Okay.
Yes.
From the game, let's talk. Okay.
On the field or off the field?
Let's do the off the field first. Okay. Let's just get it over with. Let me start with this. Like, the mascot categories were put out there. One obviously is a hog. Okay. The other 3 were much broader categories. You could have a superhero, broad, a dog, a historical figure, or a hog. Right? Which is a very, very specific thing, which is almost like we know which one you're going to pick.
Yep.
So whatever, we just threw other names out there.
Yep.
And I would say, and maybe I wasn't paying close enough attention. That felt like that was just kind of put out there and not made a big deal of at the time. Maybe on the telecast it was? Because it was just here it is.
Well, here's the thing. This one has multiple layers though, because you have to vote on it's like playing dress up. You have to pick the body first, and that gets revealed next month. I think it's the Eagles game that's getting like revealed. And
the body of the hog?
And then there's gonna
be a fat pig, right?
No.
Oh.
You have to pick like the entity, like the hog, the dog, or the historical figure or the superhero, right?
And it's going to be the hog, we think, unless the trolls go after us
get
and
historical
go
figure.
Doggy McBodie face.
Doggy McDog face.
Which I think is a threat here. When you open it up,
that's right.
People go after you.
That's why hog is its own thing, probably.
Well, and I think that's why hint down there. Don't let the haters come in and do something and make you think that the fan base wants it that way.
Newsflash, don't make the poll public, which they haven't. If you go on the website, you don't get the results. So,
because you're going to get Doggy McBoatface is what you're going to get. That's right, if you do that.
But I think what the second vote is they're mocking up different versions of the hog for that Eagles game. So you're going to get like the hog in a football uniform, the hog in military fatigues, the hog in, something else. With
Joe
no pants
Gibbs,
on.
our hat? I don't know. Right?
I don't know. I don't know. Not in Indian garb. Native American garb.
Definitely not.
Definitely not getting that. But I think that's what the next vote is.
Well, if they want, they could put him in the Native American garb and go, psych, not doing that.
It's like, no, we are not doing that.
Not doing that. Yeah,
so I think that's why it was so broad and kind of like, not throwaway, but they know that this is just the first step because then there's another major one to come.
All right, so we all know it's going to be a hog.
It's got to be. Right. I think I tweeted when it came out, if it's not hog, we riot because that's essentially the sentiment.
Sometimes, I've told my kids this, when you take a test and you don't know the answer right off the bat, sometimes the answers are so obviously wrong that you can just eliminate them.
That's right.
Dog is not the correct answer here.
No. I saw people on Twitter saying they wanted
stop.
These
are the haters that want Doggy McBoatface. That's what's happening right now.
I saw people say they wanted a German Shepherd because it was military based.
Not our military. Wrong military.
That's
yeah.
I'm just saying I saw physical, actual tweets that said that.
Let me, considering my religious background, that cannot be the mascot for a military dog.
More than fair.
Okay.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. Okay. And in fact, that breed of dog actually also is probably in a lot of pictures from the 1960s that you wouldn't want to see either.
That dog was in a video the Rage Against the Machine played at the concert a couple weeks back. With the police. Not that there's anything wrong with the police, but that's a topic that's a little divisive at the moment right now.
So, I still think dog is the wrong answer here. It's not going to happen.
I agree.
Historical figure makes sense. I don't think they would go that direction.
Yeah, I mean
that makes sense, but they're not going to do a president because that's the national thing.
That's the next thing. They're a little too late on that, to be honest. Yeah.
That's my old girlfriend's thing, the president's. So they're not going to do that. Right? They already took all the good ones anyway, so you're not going to do that.
Yeah. They already used the ones that are way too old to really cancel, but yeah.
Right. I mean, there's some bad ones. You can't do Nixon, I guess you could do Kennedy if you really wanted to.
You don't want to do dueling Trump Obama? I mean, come on.
No, we don't. We
don't
really,
want that.
really, really
you don't want that.
No, we don't want Clinton, the Washington Commanders commander. We don't need that. So I think it's unlikely because who would the historical figure be if it's not a president in Washington, D.C.?
Right.
Newt Gingrich? We're not. What are we doing here? So that's. I hear why they're doing it. I'm going to call it unlikely.
Correct.
That's what it is. Plus, do you really want Thurgood Marshall running around the stadium? That seems like you're kind of. Lowering the profile in a way that probably doesn't feel right.
I will say they did not get your memo. I thought Panda would surely make the list in some way, shape, or form.
I'm very upset. They don't listen. They didn't listen to me.
I told you though, it's because the Mystics have a panda. That's why.
All right. So
and that's why we didn't get an eagle because I saw somebody tweet at me, "Why not an eagle?" And I'm like, there's already two. There's one for the Nats and for the Capitals.
And we play the Eagles.
Yeah, that's
so.
That's true too. Yeah,
idiot. We're not going to do that.
Didn't even think about that.
We're not going to be having an eagle when our arch rival's the Eagles.
Right. Yeah. Good call.
Okay. So what was the other one? Historical figure. Superhero. Come on now. What?
No.
Only if he wears Rivera's glasses will I have a superhero.
Here's the thing. If this was 20 years ago, I'd say, maybe I'd be on board. We're in the age of Marvel, DC Comics.
No.
The fake superhero. The fake superhero is not going to stick anymore.
This is like if you were doing a rebrand in New York and you pretend it's kind of Gotham-y and say there's a superhero that's there,
right.
I would actually hear you out on the Giants have a superhero for a mascot. I would hear you out on that.
I'd still make fun of them for it.
This is not a town with superheroes.
That's right. The buildings aren't high enough for Spider-Man to swing around here.
No. And in fact, most of the superhero movies are not based here, actually.
No,
most of them aren't.
There's
we had
scene
Woman, the recent Wonder Woman, which was awful, was shot here and done here.
The first Spider-Man with Tom Holland was based here. But like they
Most
went back
of the
and forth
time,
between here and New York.
When we have adventure
Captain America was here too.
Adventure fantasy movies involve aliens coming here. That's when we get it. They show up and take over the White
Independence
House.
Day was here.
Or nuclear war movies take place here. We don't get the superhero movies go into places like New York. So I don't think superhero works for us. And what would that superhero be? And it's going to be a made-up superhero.
Yeah, no.
What are his powers going to be?
No, I said unless we get Black Panther.
Can he stop people on 3rd and Long? Can the superhero do that?
I was going to say, unless it's Black Panther and burgundy and gold colored suit, I don't want it. Is what I'm getting at. Like, unless Marvel hands us somebody that could be in burgundy and gold, I don't care. I don't want him.
Yeah, our superhero doesn't fumble anything.
I mean, like
ever.
Captain America with a commander on the star. Yeah, let's go. But no, it's not going to be that.
Who was the guy with the wizard? G-Man? Was he a superhero?
There's G-Man and there's G-Wiz.
G-Wiz was the fluffy
He's
mascot.
Still here. He was still around.
G-Man's
gone.
Did all the trampoline acts.
Yeah, with the fake
dunking.
muscles. Yeah.
Was he a superhero or what was he?
I don't know, man. I don't want.
He was a man. I like him better than G-Wiz.
He looked like we used to make fun of him that he was the guy on And One. You know, when And One made T-shirts and shorts, there was just a guy with no face.
Right.
That was him.
Okay.
That was just him in human
form. All right. So superhero feels off.
No.
Dog. No.
Out.
I'm out. We have no. There's no link to dogs here, right?
Yeah, I don't.
There's no famous group of.
Someone did make the joke. If Team Red Wolves wants to get on board with the dog,
you get a Red Wolf.
You get a Red Wolf.
If you really wanted to make this a race, you should have put Hog, Red Wolf up there. Had you done that,
99%.
Oh, it would have been on. It would have been on. It would have been on. I mean, it would have been on. They would have recruited Smoot to do the campaign. It would have been on. I would have recruited Jake and Rigo. We're doing Hogs. They would have been on. So I think that's a miss. If we had put Red Wolf up there over superhero or dog, for that matter, I think we would have had a shot. And historical figure, who would it be if it's not a president? And the team across town already does that. I think we're kind of out on that.
Giant foam Joe Gibbs head.
Yes.
With the headset.
Is he the historical figure?
Yeah.
Gibbs?
Yeah. And you come up to him and he goes, hey,
I'm super smart.
That's right.
You're super smart. Everybody's super smart.
Actually, pretty good.
It would be pretty good.
Only bust him out for alumni weekends.
Okay, so we know it's going to be a hog. All right, that's settled.
Yeah, it's a shoe. Right, now, it's what kind of hog is it going to be?
What kind of hog are we getting? Right, and does he dress up differently for different dates? Who knows, right? Who knows?
Maybe
he goes fatigues when Dallas is here. Maybe he puts on a Hawaiian shirt when Jacksonville shows up. I don't know. He could do a lot of things with the hog.
I mean, you could also match it, I know the Nats and Corey across the hall would know this too, that Screech wears whatever they're wearing on the field. On Saturdays when they wear the cherry blossom jerseys, that's what Screech is wearing.
So when Kurt shows up, the hog's in the black uniform.
Yeah, okay. Right, exactly.
Right. Cool. All right, for the song, go ahead. I'm going to let you talk first, and I will give my opinion. I promise I will give my unfiltered opinion of it next.
I think I'll be slightly more optimistic than you think.
I'm expecting you not to be optimistic about it, but go ahead, because I've read the reviews of it, and I do agree with the melody's a bit slow.
The actual song when it was played, dud. Okay, let's just get it out of the way. Dud.
When they did the total produced version of it with the orchestra, is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay. You do understand that that's not how it's going to be played in the stadium. That was the whole produced up with an orchestra version of this.
Correct.
Like when the
But
orchestra
even-
plays Led Zeppelin's Kashmir, it sounds different than when Robert Plant and Jimmy Page play it, okay?
Even when they scored, and they had to do it after the second touchdown, not the first one, because I guess they didn't get the memo to play
They
it
missed
after
it on the first one.
which
I'll
is-
get to some of the preseason hiccups
Damn it!
with that. They
But-
messed it up 3 times, but
So
that's all right.
They played
Yeah.
the slow version again, and I'll just say this: it's preseason, guys. I'm willing to figure out that you're going to work the kinks out. Like,
Yes.
dud
the
on
first time they did
Saturday,
Yeah.
but I don't think it's that big of a deal. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like,
All right, do you hate the song now that it's being used because it's going to be used? Do you hate it?
yeah, a little bit.
Okay, you do?
Like it's just I think I go back to my original sentiment about the song. This version, the redone version of Hail to the Redskins, should have been break glass in case of emergency. I wish they would have tried something
something else?
new. And I knew
So
nobody
you
would
wanted a
have liked it.
superhero to fly in with a new song.
Look, I just think they could have tried a few things and then a year or 2 years from now gone, screw it, guys, we're bringing the old one back.
You know, the weird part is they could always have just like kind of snuck it in there and played it.
That's right. You're right.
They could have. It could have been
could've.
one of those things.
Yeah, they could have.
Maryland is now playing Rock and Roll Part 2
That's
again.
true.
They
That's
just
true.
snuck it back in there.
Right. But you know, it's the preseason. So that was my overall takeaway on Saturday. It was like, I'm not going to overreact. My reaction is that it was a little bit of a dud, but I also know the regular season's a month away. Like,
Yeah.
everyone be cool. Be cool,
Be
honey
cool,
bunny.
man. Okay, here's my thoughts on the song. Okay. From a timing part, okay, well, let me start with the produced version of it. That's not how it's going to be sung in the stadium. They just did a big, grandiose produced version of it with a real singer and an entire orchestra. So, like, that's not how it's going to be played in the stadium. And it was just a rollout of how they're going to do it. And it was kind of a, I don't know, drawn out way of singing the song.
Yeah.
And they wanted to remind you of the words you may have forgotten from 2 years ago and introduce the new lyrics that got in there.
Yeah.
And we lost. Leaders on a Mission lost. So, you know, feel like I lost on that one a little bit, but whatever. I'm not upset about it.
Right. It's like same thing. It's whatever.
You know, I saw in pregame they put it up there, and so I saw it,
Yeah.
you know, 4 hours before the game, and there was a single tear that went down. I'm like, I just hate being wrong, and I ended up being wrong about it.
I
Yeah.
think it was Michael Phillips that did ask, like, how close was it? And they did say it was very close
close?
between the two.
Okay.
So, like, it's not like
All right.
1-1 in a landslide.
In game, they didn't play it after the first touchdown.
which everyone was baffled
In
at.
fact, I think I said on the air, for the first time, cue the band.
No!
I did.
You were let down.
Yeah.
You were let down.
I thought for sure they've been waiting all summer to do it.
Right.
They just scored. Were you that upset about the missed extra point? What happened? Did you guys forget? Who forgot?
That's
You had one job.
Yeah, that
How'd
was,
you forget?
That was my
Yeah.
reaction. Was like, did they forget they're supposed to play
Yeah.
this after touchdowns? That was literally my first reaction.
You know, and this
So,
was one of those, the trolls come out on Twitter and
Yeah.
whatever, and they're like, song is whatever, I won't
Yeah.
even say what they said
Right.
about it. And they go, and then, after we scored, nope, they didn't play it. And I'm like, well, how can I argue with that? You're
Correct.
right.
Correct.
Okay, second 2 times. First time they played it before the extra point. No.
Yeah.
Wrong. You wait for it after the extra point.
Yep.
Second one started playing before the 2-point conversion, and then they had to shut them down because they're about to run the 2-point conversion. What are you people doing? So we're getting the kinks out there.
So I think,
we're getting the kinks
did
out.
they sign a like? I don't want to like disparage the last band leader, but didn't they hire a legitimate? Like,
Yes. Like ran the National Symphony Orchestra type of thing.
Yeah, he or she is a legitimate,
Yes.
orchestra person, whatever.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what I'm getting at here. Either way, what my final point is, I don't know if they know football, but
They don't.
so let's
it's-
give them the teaser there to just cue him up, like give him the finger point, whatever you got to do. Like,
We're going to get in your ear and give you the cue. We
Yeah.
assume that you knew that after the touchdown meant after the conversion. Sorry, we didn't tell you. And he'd probably say, what's the conversion?
Right.
And we're like, well, after a touchdown, you have a choice.
Yeah.
You don't start this song until that play, whichever it is completed.
Yeah.
And either way, even if it fails, you do still play the song.
If the team is listening, anyone from over there is listening, or you want to pass this along and you want to make this life easier for the person that's running the orchestra, just tell them to look for the red light for the commercials.
Yes,
When they go to commercial, start playing.
that's right.
Because other than that, there's no reason for you to be playing while they're still on the air. Just have them look for that.
on the melody. Pick it up.
Yeah, 100%.
Just pick it up.
That's what I'm saying. And I think,
up.
I think that
and
gets
this can be
fixed.
fixed.
Yeah.
Just pick it up. We want the speed of the song.
Correct.
I don't know why it was slowed down. It feels like an old record player that's on the wrong speed. Speed it up.
I agree.
So I think we've ended up on different places about it being part of the game day experience again. I'm actually glad it's back. Like, it is nostalgic to me.
Yeah.
I did see a lot of people write because it landed with a thud, like, hey, maybe this should just go in the past. We've redone everything. Like, we're not saying goodbye to everybody, but we can just start anew with everything.
Right.
And this one felt old. And I'll hear people out on that. And that was my gut when they told me they were doing it in the first place. And then when they revealed, when they sang it, it's funny, in the option 1, option 2 thing that you had to vote on it, they sang it at the speed that I was accustomed to hearing it, just with the renewed lyrics. Then all of a sudden, we got this operatic version of it that was very slow.
Right.
Get the pace back up. If you're going to play the same song, get the pace back up. So pick it up, boys.
And that's
Pick
what
it up.
That's what I was getting
Yeah.
at. That's easily fixable.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Here's the song. Play it this fast.
Yes. Yeah. And that's what I don't really understand is there was a video that leaked earlier this year of them practicing on the concourse, like in a formal practice, and it sounded normal.
Yes.
And so now
the thing that they played on the website, it sounded, when they sang it and said these are the 2 versions,
Right.
it sounded with the change
So-
of lyrics, but it was the same speed.
So get back to it. That's all.
Come on, boys.
It's easily to fix.
Play the same speed we're accustomed to and do it at the appropriate time, and then I think everything will be fine. And you guys have a month to figure this out.
Right.
Okay. Got some kinks out. Okay.
Any more off the field stuff you want to get to? Before we...
What else would there be?
Uniforms. I think the overall look.
Sure.
Okay, just because we got to see it all in its glory.
I love the helmets.
Helmets are great. Fantastic.
I'm the only person that's probably bothered by this, but because I have to call numbers, a second coat of paint on those numbers would have been very helpful.
Tough to see.
Yeah, but that's just my problem that I have to deal with.
You and John Walton always have this problem. Not this problem, but it's a broadcasting problem.
They're
jerseys you like more because they're easier to see, essentially.
There's a little bit of you put on the light coat on that one, and so there was a little bit of that, and whatever. That's nobody's. I'm joking. I'm complaining.
And on that front,
complaint.
the reason why it is the weird kind of diamond shapes that are make a couple of stripes and then there's a lot of white is because apparently when they move fast, the numbers blur together and you see them more clearly. That's like a Nike hype thing, essentially. What's going on there?
I'm not calling something from an art museum.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Right. Right.
I didn't know I was at a NASCAR race.
Right.
Anyway, but besides that, because I'm half joking. White on white looks good to me.
Yeah.
I have a funny feeling that the white, and I need to see it, the white on burgundy pants, I don't think those 2 colors are going to match very well, so I think they may look odd if they put that together, but I don't know until I see it. And I'm very interested to see the burgundy one. I have a feeling that's going to resonate a little bit better. And I would just go with, I thought it looked pretty good. Is it the best uniform in sports? No.
Right.
But I actually thought, on the field, which is more important, when they first came out, everyone was like, oh, God. And then I'm like, well, let's see them when they're on the players and they're running around.
Yep.
And once they were, it looked pretty good. I thought it looked all right.
On TV, it looked great.
Yeah, that's the important part. And I talked to them about that they took that into major consideration.
Yep.
What does this look like on television? Because that's where it's really important. And when I saw replays, I was looking up, I thought they looked pretty good. And then in real time, I thought they looked good.
I think what's funny about that too is I think the white jerseys and the white uniform was the most scrutinized that day that the rebrand was launched, and I think a lot of people have come around and flipped on them. So I'm one of them. I hated the white jerseys when I first saw them, even seeing them up close in person, but seeing them as a unit.
Yeah.
And the 90th patch looks clean on there too. I'm
I like the helmet a lot too. I think it's very simple. I like it.
Yeah.
And then I'm very interested to see the burgundy ones. I don't know what they're wearing this week. I'll see what the Chiefs typically wear red. So I at home. So I assume we're wearing white again. I don't know. I'll have to see.
Yeah.
So I'm very interested to see what the burgundy ones look like.
Yep.
But I actually thought they looked pretty good. I'm not wow, that's amazing, but I thought they looked good.
Pleasantly surprised, I think, is what I would say. I would say one thing I have a gripe on the Panthers uniforms.
Yeah,
get rid of the shoulder pad numbers. I don't know if you saw how comically small their shoulder pad. numbers
I didn't see
were.
that. It's funny.
You can't even see it. That's what I'm saying.
It's so crazy how quickly things change. Their uniforms always looked extremely modern to me, and then up against Washington's, all of it, they don't anymore.
Yeah,
they actually look like they need to I love their colors. Like, just change it up. And I hate that. I can't wait till we get out of this where, these things have this kind of like moving picture. Like the cat looks like it's like a distended head.
Flying.
Yeah.
Because that's what they call
That's what the Broncos did.
The Patriots.
The Patriots did it.
Yep, Ravens have it too.
The Ravens
Eagles have it.
Yeah, so I'll be happy when we get away from, whenever that day comes, we get away from that. But I actually thought, I love their colors and their color schemes and all that stuff, but I actually think they could use a little upgrade. Now, it's funny because I used to always think they looked really modern, and now, I guess because everyone else changed all their uniforms, they don't anymore to me. They actually don't.
It's funny. They have the same number and name font as the old Redskins jerseys. And that's why they probably looked modern to you, because they looked very similar to those, and now I'm with you.
Now they don't.
Next to us, they looked like they needed a rebrand pretty bad.
I love those colors, though. That Carolina blue and black and gray. They have a great color scheme, so I thought they looked good. But it was funny. We looked like the modern team all of a sudden.
Yep.
And we needed it for a long time, the upgrade of it.
The only gripe I'll have is the white pants need like a stripe or something on the side.
Yeah, I agree.
They're a little too plain, but same thing. That's something I
straight out of Lululemon.
Right. Yeah, you're right. Like they did look very yoga pantsy.
Sleek.
But
sleek.
Give me like a black stripe on the side or something, or burgundy stripe on the side.
Yeah.
I just need a little little racing stripe or something.
Just a little bit. I hear you. All right. I can't believe it's 25 minutes. I haven't even talk about the game. All right, we'll do that next. Bram Weinstein Show, ESPN 630, Sports Capital.
ESPN 630 is brought to you by Flight by Yingling. Raise the bar with the next generation of light beer.
I'm clearly still not accustomed to having the camera in here during the first hour because I was doing really dumb dances to the Dr. Dre commercial that we play live on the air. Mm-hmm. And I have to trust that Wardell won't use that.
No, I'm just going to say, Wardell, make sure you grab that and we'll have an end of the year montage or something.
If you put that out there, I will kill you people.
You have nothing.
I will. Julie did this last year where she showed a clip of me dancing after the Raiders game.
I wish I had screen recorded it.
At the Diplo concert. I didn't know she did it. And I was so mad.
Freaked out.
Yeah. Only I dance willingly on video.
It was amazing, too. I wish I had it. I might have to text her and be like, hey, do you have that video of Bram saved somewhere?
Do you know how many videos must be on her phone?
Oh, my God. She's all over the place on Instagram.
All over the place.
And I don't blame her. Like, you use your platform for what you can, but I'm not that person. Neither are you.
No.
But
what for historical figure, we had a tweet from somebody who said the Commanders...
This is hold on. We need to give credit for this one.
Yeah.
This is one of my favorite tweets ever into the show. R.W. Roberts. He tweeted it once before about something too that was really funny. But he says, historical figure in D.C., the one and only Marion Barry, please.
That's the one that where you're like, where's the mascot? Yeah. He's still in the bathroom?
That's where he emerges from, actually.
Yeah. Hey! I want that one to speak. If that mascot's talking, if it's Marion Barry, where that mascot's talking.
Just going to say, the guy got in trouble and then got reelected. People don't really hate him.
He set me up! Oh, man.
Disappears for a while and his nose is,
Good tweet, fine sir. Good tweet, fine sir. Yeah.
It's all powdered up after halftime.
Yeah. I'm ready for the second half. Let's go. What y'all doing after the game? Oh, y'all want to hang out and land them? Let's do it. Yeah.
Oh,
all right, let's do the game.
Yeah.
Let's do the
on
game.
The field.
On the field.
Yeah.
On the field. Okay. Let me start with giant, and I think I speak for everybody, collective sigh of relief that Carson Wentz was fine.
Yep.
Okay. And I'm not going to go through good, bad, whatever. No, he was fine.
Yep.
He looked like he was in control. The passes were where they were supposed to be. Mm-hmm. It was not what it looked like in training camp. And I got to tell you, because everybody, as we all know, by the end of last week, had gotten super sensitive about him. I think a little too super sensitive, if you ask me. Anyway, I think it was really just a sign of what happened with Jason. I think last week really was a sign of everybody's very sensitive about him more than anything.
Yep.
Really, whether you agree with the way he went after Scott or didn't go, it doesn't matter. I think it really was we're very sensitive about this particular person.
Yep.
We really need him to perform closer to what he was in Philadelphia pre-injury than what he has the last couple of years. We know we took a big risk by acquiring him. A lot's on the line on how he performs. And, you're going to put him out there in a preseason game after a couple of weeks where everybody's writing he's inaccurate and, what's going on here. Like, I was holding my breath too because I'm like, oh boy,
sure.
I knew what the offensive line situation was, which they're jumbling people around all week. They were going to have rookie tight ends because Bates isn't available and Logan Thomas isn't available. And I went, God, I hope this doesn't go bad. And it didn't. He looked fine.
Yep.
So I don't want to go too far. Like, I take no other conclusion other than he was fine. And I will, I'm pretty happy that after Carolina got up 10-0 and he got one more drive, they had a nice long drive. He had a great pass to McLaurin. There could have been a touchdown to Dotson.
Yep.
They walked down the field. They scored. So, I think is really how I kind of feel about it. And for starts, I'm like, I'll take that with him. I'll take it.
No pun intended. He had command of the offense. And I don't think I saw that all last year with Fitzpatrick. I think Fitzpatrick was almost play to play. I didn't really remember seeing much of a flow to Fitzpatrick's game last year.
Fitzpatrick in the spring was nowhere near where Wentz was in the spring.
Yep.
Which is why the Heineke stuff came up in the summer, because it wasn't going very well. In the spring, none of what we've been talking about the last couple of weeks was evident, by which, they're paying him $28 million, so they weren't going to bench him anyway, and they put, he's clearly going to be their starter, and they had to be confident behind him. But also after the spring, I felt pretty good. I'm like, you know what? Like, I know that there's some warts here, and there's going to be a lot to get through, but I'm not concerned like I was with Fitzpatrick. I'm not concerned. The first couple of weeks shook me a little bit with what I saw in the practice, and all of a sudden, so I'm relieved more than anything off of the first. Really, I'm just relieved that he looked like a competent quarterback who does the things that he's capable of doing. We got to see it for a few drives.
The number one thing that I feared going into the season was that he didn't look as good as they want him to look, and Heineke actually looked really good. And then all of a sudden, that noise would have started that they can't control. That was put to bed real fast by both players. And I mean, that Wentz looked like he had commanded the offense, looked like it was smooth, looked good the whole time. And then we got the drive of Taylor Heineke that we got everything that Heineke's known for, and that's running around, scrambling a little bit. Yeah. No.
It's fun.
He's a gunslinger, and then he throws a pick. And it's like that was the. I think we need to get a shirt that says the Taylor Heineke experience on it, because I think that was everything about him in a drive summed up. And I went, all right, he still looks like himself, and that's its own entity. But Wentz looks like the starter, bar none.
Yeah, I felt like we went to Fast and Furious 10.
Yeah,
it's going to be action packed.
Yeah.
You're going to enjoy it.
Yep.
It's not winning any awards, but you're
safe they're stealing.
Really enjoy it.
Yeah,
it's fun to watch.
The safe they're stealing might down a building.
Yes, it's reliable. It's entertaining. You're going to really, really, really enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's not going to be nominated for anything at the end of the year.
That's right.
Right,
exactly.
But it's fun.
Exactly.
It really was fun.
Yeah.
And then came quarterback 3. Mm-hmm. I went on the Carolina pregame show, did a hit with them. And because Sam Howell, of course, went to North Carolina, broke all their records, and is from Charlotte, they asked me a lot of questions about him.
When is he going to start?
Well, they were asking me also, the whole interview was about him.
Yeah. I
was surprised. The whole interview was about him. And so I'm like, by the end of it, I was even like, guys. We just acquired Carson Wentz. He's not playing. I basically said, I think I said on there, I'm like, if he's playing, something went wrong here. He's not going to play. And I said all the nice things, he does have a big arm. He does have a really good work ethic. We know what he did in college. We think it's a steal that we got him in the 5th round, but he's not playing this year. And if he is, something went really wrong here.
Right.
He's getting redshirted because we have our starting quarterback. And then the 3rd and 4th quarter came around, and you saw what you saw.
Looks legit.
A 14-point comeback in the 4th quarter is a 14-point comeback in the 4th quarter. I don't care who's on the field when he did it. Those are NFL players. And it's funny, I had this weird sensation with him. I've talked about this a lot. I actually feel like if he was 3 to 4 inches taller, he would have been a 2nd-round pick at worst.
Yep.
Because you know what he did in college. You know what everyone has said about him. He looks like Drew Brees. He's small. And it's a problem. And at times at practice, it looks like he's on his tippy toes to try to get the ball out, because he's got Montez Sweat, who's 5 inches taller than him, running around him,
Right.
And then it was the weirdest sensation the other day. Maybe he was just sitting up high and looking down instead of looking field level at him. He looked bigger.
Huh.
It was a really bizarre, like some guys, they look smaller when they play smaller than they are.
Right.
He plays bigger. And maybe it's just clearly he's in total command. Clearly this is not too big for him. And but I don't want to hear, anybody make some kind of weird conclusion like a depth chart is changing. It's not.
Yeah. Right.
And in fact, there's not even, trust me, there's not even a whisper of anything like that. They're very happy that happened. And all that's, occurring here is 3 quarterbacks are going to make this team.
Yep.
Like we've known that from the start.
Yep.
I know who the starter is. I know who the backup is. And I know who the third stringer is. And the only thing that could potentially change over the course of this year, and once we get into the season, it's not going to matter anymore because, Heineke and Howell are going to barely get any reps whatsoever, assuming that Wentz is healthy, is that I think the hope is maybe he gets to a point where they think he's the backup quarterback next year.
Right.
That's the good end game for this because, Heineke's contract is up after this season. So it doesn't mean they wouldn't bring him back. And I actually think as a backup, he's a high-level backup.
Sure.
And I like having him on the team, and I feel more comfortable with him on the team. That may change next year. We'll see where Howell is, but that's all I saw, and I think this was great and really cool, and it was made in a preseason game really exciting, and he did some of the stuff with his legs that he did in his last year of college. He has total command. He's unflappable. That was great. Yep. All that stuff was great to see. Like the characteristics were great to see. Nothing's changed, trust me. Not a thing has changed with the depth chart today. Nothing.
No, I don't think it should. But at the very bare minimum, they knew who their quarterbacks are going to be. And you know what? It's funny. Last week when they released Cole Kelly, because some people had been intrigued by him because of his size.
Not me.
Go
ahead.
Because of his size, though. I think people,
6'7",
and people were intrigued, and I really was like, "Ooh, this guy must not really be that good." Now I'm also saying he must not really be that good, and Sam Howell's actually been as advertised, and there's no room for him.
He had no shot of making this.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
He had no shot. He just had no shot. I mean, just the numbers alone, he had no shot of making the team.
Right.
Like. Just so, short of an injury. Short of an injury.
Right.
And they could always, if they really, really wanted to, bring him back if an injury occurs as a third-string quarterback. But I think at this point, if an injury occurred, I'm not sure they would bring anybody back to the active roster. They probably would just carry 2. Like, they're going to carry 3 now because they can't cut Sam Howell.
Right.
Like, you can't get him on the practice squad. Can't cut him.
Yeah.
So you have to keep him. So, but anyway, I mean, I thought it was a great first performance, and he was outstanding, and all things considered, like, I feel very comfortable with our quarterback room right now. Feel very comfortable with it.
Do you want to take a break and then talk about the running backs?
The running backs? Mm-hmm. Sure. Because you think there's a depth chart change there, don't you?
No, I think there's
Not
just
yet?
a discussion that needs to be happening.
Okay, we'll do that. Brave Washington Show, ESPN 630 Sports Capital. If you want to play some hooky with us this week, you can enter for your chance to win 2 tickets to see the Orioles take on the Cubs this Thursday, August 18th. First pitch 3:05, so we're not going to have a show. Callow and I are going, and you can come with us. And
Andy's coming too.
Andy's coming.
I'm just announcing that on the air.
Do we get Andy and Pickles? I will do content for Instagram if Andy comes to Pickles and gets drinks with us.
Dabbling with some management here at the station, Andy said, "That sounds fun. Will I get parking?" To which we'll make sure happens so he can come.
Well, that's not a bad ask.
Yeah, that's Andy.
You're making it sound like I asked for parking too, though.
Yeah, but like
that was the first thing I said to you. Where's the parking? I want the parking.
It was said in an Andy type way. Yeah, right.
None of those.
Sounds fun. Do I have parking?
Yeah.
All right.
It's
fine. But
all you got to do is text us 1-833-ESPN 630 833-ESPN 630. Today's keyword is ball game, as in take me out to the ball game.
That's right.
Because we're playing the Cubs, we'll get a Harry Carey hologram. Hey, Han. What's that weird spirit singing the song there on the mound there, Han? You're freaking me out there, Han. That's what I want. Ball game. Congrats to. You got to give us your name and your email too.
Yeah, name and email when you text us, please.
And you're gonna get out. You're gonna get out emails to everybody today. The people who want to see you. Coordinate with the people who already have tickets.
It looks like we already reached out to everybody on our texting machine over here. So,
good.
Yep.
Congrats to Bashir and Mark. We're our 2 winners on Friday. This is the last day we're doing it, right? So last chance, Charlie. Last chance.
And I would say implore everyone, even if you're on the fence, enter because if we have people that can't go or decide that it can't go on the afternoon. Text in and we might be able to use you as a backup. That's all.
We don't want extras because Andy might sell them outside the stadium.
Can't do that anymore. because it's all digital.
Oh, that's right.
It's that's
right, huh?
No scalping anymore,
Yeah.
man. I mean, I guess you could, but that's a whole rigmarole of give me your email address. That's weird. No one wants that.
Standard messaging and data rates apply. All right, 2 tickets to the O's Cubs. Cal and I will be going to that. All right. Okay, you want to talk about the running backs now from the other day?
I think it's worth throwing out there.
Antonio Gibson fumbled again. His fault. Brian Robinson came in. Starters immediately. I actually liked that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Message sent
Yes.
very quickly.
Yep, exactly.
Made Gibson go back out later. Message sent
Yep.
that. There's these little moments in the preseason where you're like, they're taking this seriously, and he's got a carryover. This has been a problem. It was a problem again. There are some technique stuff that they have a problem with, and I think as Rivera put it, like, it's when he dances a little too much, he gets himself in trouble.
Yep.
And that's when he becomes, suspect to have something like this happen. Robinson came in and totally looked the part. By the way, I was in the locker room after the game, and on Commander's Daily today, you'll hear from Brian Robinson, you'll hear from Sam Howell, and you'll hear from Kendall Fuller. Gibson afterwards, you're not going to play the interview with him, but
Right.
He did take responsibility for it, basically said, I can't do anything like that, understands, what you're supposed to say. In the end, if it happens now in a game that doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. But it's a carryover. It's a problem. There are 2 carryover things that occurred in this game that if you want to take issue with from last year that didn't change in an exhibition game, it's him fumbling and them not stopping anybody on third down. Both of those things happen.
Yeah.
So I know Rivera, and I think he does not make rash decisions. Most of them, often we complain about him being a little slow to make some decisions.
Sure. Absolutely.
So that's why I would say to you today, if anyone's out there thinking Brian Robinson's the new starting running back, he's not.
Right.
But this cannot continue.
Correct.
The message was sent. He was benched at a preseason game because this cannot continue. Turnovers matter in this sport. Penalties matter. I'll get to that one in a second too. Matter in this sport. The margin for error is slim, which is why we're worried about Wentz. If he's going to be inaccurate, it's going to be a problem. If you're going to fumble the ball, we're going to lose.
That's right.
If you're going to commit 15-yard penalties with 40 seconds to go in a game, it gives the team a first down in field goal range, you're going to lose, right? So I don't know what the answer is for Gibson, but he better fix it.
Yep.
Because he will get benched.
Well,
it's just not happening today. So for everyone who wants to have the reaction of the depth chart change,
Sure.
it didn't.
No, I didn't think it was, but it's not as much. I mean, it's a combination of the two, but it's not only did he fumble, it's that when Robinson went in, he looked good. He hit the hole. He found the lanes, which I've always had a complaint with Gibson, where he seems a little hesitant at times. When he does get through, he turns the burners on, and he's just as good as anyone else.
Gibson in space is devastating.
Yes. But there are times where he's hesitated and he gets tackled in the hole, right?
Yes.
Where Robinson didn't care who was in front of him because he's a freight train. And I don't even know how you heard it in the stadium, but I know when that guy hit the hole, you could hear in the stadium the oohs and ahs kind of when he started running.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying it's as much Gibson, but it's also just as much as Robinson is exciting and a bruising running back that people around here like. So
yes, I think for as far as first impressions go, I know, but I was harping on this for a year. They put too much on Gibson last year. They just put too much. I mean, I'm not absolving him of the fumbles. That's on him. But I thought he carried way too much of the load for them last year. And I was glad that they went and got reinforcements for him. Jared Patterson actually looks a lot better. It's really funny. In his second year, he's looked a lot better. He's going to have a hard time making the team. I would assume he's going to stay on the practice squad now, but he's going to have a hard time making the team. But I'm glad that they got reinforcements here. And the plan, at least initially, is that they're going to share a lot of the load. So this was already kind of going in this direction. But if he continues to fumble, Robinson's just going to play a lot. I mean, that's what's going to happen. Gibson in space can be a devastating playmaker for them. And so, hopefully he hangs on to the ball.
Yeah.
Don't make them make a decision like that.
Yeah, I mean, and that was kind of the dagger of what happened on Saturday was we had all the storylines going into the game, and then he created one on his own with the fumble. And so it's
on him.
You never want to be that guy, but it's reality is there that there's a viable running back behind him, and if it happens again, I'm not going to be shocked to see if we don't see him for a little bit.
I'll look it up, but those who lose the turnover margin lose 80% of games.
Yeah. That's a nuts stat.
Period.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. the one other person I want to talk about on offense for a moment is Curtis Samuel, who played, right? I think he caught a pass or two, something like that.
Yeah, he caught it looked like one of those little bubble screens, kind of. Yep.
Here's what I noticed about him, though, that I actually really liked about this. I think that this offense, unlike last year where they were kind of relying on Gibson to do a lot, hopefully going to rely on Samuel, which didn't play out, because I think they knew deep down they didn't have enough playmakers out there, which I think is why they were pumping De'Ambi Brown. They're like, he's going to make plays. They didn't have playmakers, and they knew it, and that's why they kept kind of saying it. This year, I feel differently about it. Like, if Curtis Samuel, and I'm not saying he's not going to play a lot, but if the same thing were to happen again, I think they could swallow that and it wouldn't be that big of a deal.
Of course.
Between Gibson, this guy Robinson, McKissick back healthy, now add Dotson to McLaurin, I think you're good. You're good to go on the playmaker stuff. Whether it happens or not, we'll see. But I think you're good to go, and it wouldn't be that big of a deal. Here's what stood out to me in the first go with him. He went in motion on every single play.
Oh, okay.
Why did he go in motion on every single play? I think he's going to be the tell for Carson Wentz. So that's what I took out of watching it. That whether he gets the ball coming his way a lot or not is to be seen, and probably will depend on matchups. But him going in motion, I think, is the signal to try to get a reaction from the defense to give Wentz an idea of matchups. So I look at him in that way. And I could be wrong about that, but they did it so much with him that it made me wonder, okay, he is the guy who is going to ultimately be the tell for Wentz. And if that's the role he plays, it's instrumental. Whether he catches the ball a ton, runs the ball, because he'll get the ball.
Yeah.
But if he doesn't have big numbers, fine. But if the offense is hitting big plays, it's because that guy is forcing a shift in the defense and giving Wentz some information pre-snap. And if that starts happening and it starts working, he's an instrumental part of the whole thing. So that's what that was my takeaway. I could be wrong about that, but that was my takeaway of watching him.
Got it.
One other thing I want to complain. Two other things I want to complain about. I understand the idea when the numbers are tight for guys who are trying to make the roster, to try to make a play. When you are returning a kickoff from 8 yards deep in the end zone, you're making a mistake. Okay? And I think good decision-making is good decision-making, and the coaches would appreciate that over trying to make some kind of miracle rabbit out of the hat. And then whoever returned the last kickoff, which was only 1 yard deep in the end zone, but with 24 seconds left and no timeouts, and came out with it.
Yeah.
Who are you, Brian Mitchell? You better score.
Right.
Thanks for running 5 seconds off a clock that we don't have time for. So there were a couple of things at the end of the game, the other day that were, I know it's preseason, I don't care what the outcome is, but it's these little situational things where you're like you're like slapping your forehead going, what are you thinking?
Right, exactly.
You better return that for a touchdown. What is your end game if you don't?
Right.
Now it just looks like you made a dumb decision. And on the last one, Shaka Toney was playing like his hair's on fire, which I think is great. Chase Young is not playing in the first week, and probably more than that, which means young guys are going to get an opportunity to rotate in with James Smith-Williams and Casey Tuill. It's either going to be Bradley King or this guy Panashuk or potentially Shaka Toney. He caused a 15-yard penalty with 40 seconds to go in a game that put them in field goal range and allowed them to sit on the ball to burn timeouts. Does it matter that we lost? No. If that happens against Jacksonville, what do you think the reaction's going to be?
He's going to get cut.
Yes. He's going to get cut.
Right.
He's going to get cut. So there were a few moments, I know everyone always broadly talks about these things and is like, oh, whatever, it's just a preseason. If I'm Shaka Toney, you better not do anything like that again.
Right.
And I mean not even close to anything like that again. And the point of emphasis, which that's what the NFL calls it this year on certain rules, there weren't a lot of rule changes, but there's a point of emphasis is about hits to the head. And I actually watched the presentation, and there was a lot of clarification of, not just because something hits somebody's head are we going to call it. We're trying to teach the referees some of it is inadvertent, and we don't want to penalize teams for the inadvertent stuff. That one wasn't. The guy's helmet came off, and they're so safe about it, they blew the play dead the second it happened.
Right.
You can't touch his head at all, ever, and you did it with 40 seconds left on a third down play when they were out of field goal range. Nobody's making a big deal of it because it doesn't matter that they lost. Well, if this happens in Detroit, like it did 2 years ago when they lost there on a 15-yard roughing the passer penalty at the end of a game, what are we going to be saying?
Yeah, right.
He's going to get cut. Shaka Toney, I like you. Don't do that again. crazy kick returners trying to make a play. Use judgment.
Right.
Nobody keeps the guy who uses poor judgment. I know you want to make a play. Returning it from 9 yards deep in the end zone is a ridiculous idea. A ridiculous idea. So there.
Got it.
That's my complaint. Guys.
You hitting the table just knocked my microphone over.
Sorry.
You went an hour without talking about the defense. Do you want to do that next?
Later.
Okay.
I want to talk about Soto, Han. My ex-girlfriend. I want to talk about my ex-girlfriend.
Okay, fair enough.
It's went an hour without talking about my ex-girlfriend. How about that? I'm over you.
I'm not talking an hour of gnats.
You're right. I'll be right back. Bray Weinstein Show, ESPN 630 Sports Capital.